Welcome to episode number 142 of the Beyond Social Media Show, the podcast for marketing, advertising, public relations, and communications professionals. We're recording live on YouTube on May 8, 2016. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I am David Erickson. You can find me on Twitter at @DErickson. I'm with my co-host, of course, BL Achman. You can find her on @What'sNext on Twitter. Today's topics, we have a lot to discuss. We're going to talk about some flavored nail polish, political communication fails, Windows 10 upgrade shenanigans, Oldcella is coming, sales emails that backfire, history via virtual reality, and a lot more. But we always started off with the worst story of the week, and BL always has the honors. Kick it off, BL. What was the worst story?
Well, there's a lot going on here of great political and social import, but KFC launched finger-licking good edible nail polish. Oh, God, no. This is from an Engadget story by Billy Steele, and they made 2 edible fingernail polishes. They actually made them. They teamed up with Ogilvy and Mather and food experts at McCormick, and they made 2 shades that incorporate their top secret blend of 11 herbs and spices and the original recipe and hot and spicy. And to use it, you apply it, you let it dry, and then you lick it again and again and again, was how KFC explained it.
That's gross. That's like what painting bullion on your nails? Is that the idea?
But it stays. It doesn't go away. Like, I had this book one time, my all-time favorite book. It was a scratch and sniff diet book. And so, like, when you wanted dessert, you scratched and sniffed, chocolate mousse or whatever. So, I mean, the smells for foods have been around for quite a long time in ink, but I didn't know about them in nail polishing.
Well, we will see whether it takes.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, if adult finger sucking starts taking off, we'll see
Trending
whether
on Twitter,
it has worked. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on politically, and as much as we swore we weren't going to be political, we're not. We're just covering like how they're dealing.
That's right. Yeah. So there's a lot going on politically. The Trump camp, the anti-Trump forces have not succeeded, though they tried very hard. There's an article in Roll Call by Alex Rorty, who talks about the ads that ran, the anti-Trump ads that ran. Evolving Strategies is a Republican data and analytics firm, and they recently tested the effectiveness of 4 anti-Trump TV ads ahead of the Indiana primary, which of course Trump won. The results are there's a deep split between the sexes, not surprisingly at all. 3 of the 4 spots convinced a significant number of women, 8% of those tested, to abandon Trump, but those ads did not work on men. 2 anti-Trump groups were involved in the ads. The free market advocacy club for growth group spent about $11 million to oppose Trump, and Our Principles PAC spent roughly $16 million on these ads. Adam Schaefer is the co-founder of Evolving Strategies. He conducted randomized control trials from April 27 to 29 with 3,500 voters who were either registered with the GOP or leaning towards participating in the primary. They were asked in an online survey to watch one of 4 ads. The ads tested included one that questioned Trump's adherence to conservative orthodoxy. That one on YouTube got 51,000 views to date. One repeating his past criticism of women. We may have talked about this ad on a past episode where it basically was women citing reading the quotes of Donald Trump's anti-women or criticisms of women quotes. That ad got 261,000 views on YouTube to date. There's another ad featuring Mitt Romney attacking Trump. That one has gotten 54,000 views to date, and then one highlighting Trump's failed Trump University. That one had 438,000 views to date. So why didn't they work among men is the problem, and I think it's sort of the TV media buy. First, they spent the money on doing television advertising. So when you see a attack ad on TV, you're conditioned to immediately recognize it as a tack ad. And if you're a Trump supporter, you're just going to tune it out, right? You're just not going to pay. You're going to discount it because you know it's an attack ad. Trump voters don't care about conservative orthodoxy, so that message isn't going to work on them. The most diehard male Trump voters are going to shrug off his sexist quotes as jokes, so that's not going to work on him. Mitt Romney has no credibility among the Trump voters because that's who they want to overthrow, the elite Republican elite. And then Trump voters will probably give him the benefit of the doubt with regard to his Trump University. Most of the people who were victimized by Trump University were minorities, so they don't really care about that either. So what would have been effective? I think you need to understand who's persuadable. There's an NPR story about evangelicals, and young evangelicals, it turns out, don't really know what to do. So target those people and make them choose between their deeply held moral beliefs, right, and this guy who so plainly contradicts their code. And then, you know, I'd run a clip of Trump repeating the thing where he said he eats the crackers for the communion crackers and calls them crackers. But the best attack would be ridiculing Trump, because what you do is you just ridicule him and you can dampen the enthusiasm among the diehard Trump voters. So the idea that he's self-funded, attack where he's strong. Run the clip of him being sulking at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when Obama was ridiculing him.
He didn't go this year.
Not this year, but there's that clip from last year where he was just sitting there sulking as Obama was criticizing him. Run ads focusing on his orange face and his floppy comb over. I mean, just ridicule him. Promote the viral video that we talked about on a couple of episodes of the drunk hicks on the porch lip syncing to Donald Trump speeches, and then run ads focusing on his tiny little hands. He's very sensitive to the fact that he has small hands. It would drive him nuts. He'd respond to it. He'd get lots of media attention, and it hits at the heart of his sort of macho image too. So those are the kind of things that I do. But then use also precise targeting. Don't run television ads, run video ads, and use Facebook and YouTube to target the people you want to target.
Well, I have one thing to say about men not being sensitive to advertising. Men in general, I was just going to say as a race, men are not a race. Men as a gender, men in general are a little hard of listening. I hate to say that, Dave, but you know they are, and I don't know what kind of advertising does work on men that isn't sports related or car related or whatever. But these ads are already happening. Hillary's already doing them on social media, and you know, my next one is. You know, there was a Cinco de Mayo fail on Twitter from, of all comparisons, PetSmart and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump had the temerity to tweet a picture of himself eating a taco bowl, which is not really a taco, and saying, and they had apparently photoshopped like a big thumb, because he doesn't have big thumbs, onto the picture. And he said, sorry about that. He said, I love Hispanics. And, you know, he wasn't even eating authentic food. So he was like skewered for that. And then PetSmart manages in just a couple of tweets to annoy absolutely everybody. And, you know, frankly, I thought they were adorable, but they had a picture, they called it Cinco de Mayo. And they said, we're celebrating with a nod to painter, feminist, and cultural icon Frida Kahlo. And they had a picture of a dog dressed up in beads and a hat, and it was a funny dog. But somebody said, PetSmart, way to propagate stereotypes, disrespect an artistic luminary, and appropriate Mexican culture at the same time. Get better PR, people. And then they had Pancho Villa, and he was a tribute to Pancho Villa, but Trump's was so much worse, just so much worse. You know, he just has little hands.
So So not politically related. This is based on basically a rant of a blog post that I wrote for our agency blog. I get lots of email, so I'm going to continue the rant here. I get lots of email. I correspond with colleagues, of course, and have and clients and vendors and stuff. So I get that email. I subscribe to a ton of newsletters, so I get a lot of that. I register for events and webinars, so that as a result, I get a lot of spam. And I also get a lot of sales pitches through email. And some of the tactics that these sales pitches are taking annoy me. I'm usually pretty sympathetic to salespeople because they've got a hard job and everything. But some of this is really nails me, but it also will backfire. So one of the pitches is that salespeople use. One of the tactics they use is they send a sales pitch email to you, and then a week later they'll follow it up with a follow-up email implying that they'd already had a conversation with you, right?
Right, I get that.
So there's the context is like, oh yeah, well we already talked about this, so you'll naturally read this email. But recently I've been getting these sales pitches that use Ray, R-E, in the subject line. And so it appears just from the subject line that you've already responded to something that they've sent, right? So they're trying to fool the recipient into believing that it's part of an existing conversation. And I just think that's just so short-sighted, because you're going to find out that you were fooled eventually, and you're going to resent that. So whenever I get those, I use the spam button. I just deliberately punish people by clicking on the spam button on those types of emails. And if enough people do that, that threatens to get that email domain blacklisted, and your sales pitches aren't going to go to anyone.
Well, Dave, I do that. I'm really mean. I also post the worst pitches on Facebook and Twitter and call them email pitches from hell. And I've been known to use the people's names on them and the name of their agency, because I don't know about you, I get more than 800 freaking emails every day. And a lot of it's my own fault, because like you, I subscribe to gazillions of newsletters and I want them, but I also get like the most enormous amount of crap. My favorite among them is, because you cover blah, blah, blah technology, you'll be interested in this. Well, you don't know what I'm interested in, because you don't even know what I wrote about recently or ever. You've never seen my blog. Or, we could go on about email. I hate email. Email is like, I feel like I'm drowning in it. But speaking about clueless, The Gap this week, they had an ad. They have these 1969 jeans, which I wear, and they had a tweet in which there was somebody wearing 1969 jeans, and there was a rocket going up, and it said 1969 New Generations. So the space reporter for Mashable, Miriam Kramer, said, no, that shuttle didn't launch till 1981. And then she got out-nerded, as she said, by Seth Borenstein, who covers science for AP. He said, good catch, but it's not even 1981. That's a non-painted external tank. Didn't even launch until 1982. To which The Gap inexplicably responded, 1989 is included in most of our ad picks. It's the year we opened, not meant to be the shuttle launch date. Sorry for the confusion. Well, in my humble opinion, this is what happens when brands are without a clue about history, because they have 12-year-olds handling their social media.
Yeah, that should be obvious. You slap 1969 on a shuttle launch. It should be obvious that some people might point out, yeah, didn't happen in 1969. Yeah.
But the answer, we don't care. We put that in everything. No, doesn't matter. So I have one more that was just kind of sad, talking about cluelessness. The Center for Disease Control, there was, for some reason, anything can be a day. There was a World Clean Hands Day, was May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And it had its own hashtag Clean Hands Count. And the Center for Disease Control mounted this campaign, and they have come up with a new way for you to clean your hands, really. And they had this, we're all doing it wrong, actually. But they said, remember to spread the word, take a photo, or tell us who your clean hands count for on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And you want to know how many responses they got with photographs? They got none.
Yeah, cuz who's going to do that?
Cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to wash my hands and then take a picture of my clean hands. I mean, I'm not going to do that. So I got one more about mail. I got an email from Facebook. It said that beginning May 1st, mail sent to BL Lockman at Facebook will no longer be forwarded to my personal email account. I never wanted Facebook email. The last thing I want is more email in my life, so I don't care. You know, that's a WTF for me.
Sounds like Facebook might be shutting down their email service.
I guess,
So
but who cares?
yeah. So Windows. Last week we talked about a Windows 10 upgrade notification that interrupted a weather forecast. This week we have another one. Not a weather forecast this time. This is from the Next Web article by Ben Woods. And this week, pro gamer Eric Flom was broadcasting his gaming session, which streams to more than 130,000 people. And in the middle of it, he got a Windows 10 upgrade notification that appeared, and it looked like he had disabled the notification just minutes before, and yet his PC shut down mid-game. So his stream obviously was clipped off after his PC shut down. The stream has been viewed more than 120,000 times, including live viewers who had to sit through a double update. Well played, Microsoft.
They're doing that all over the place. That's really horrifying.
Nagware.
So, does that bring us to best, Dave?
It does indeed.
Well, I think so far the best Twitter tirade that I've seen about Trump is Elizabeth Warren, and she said Donald Trump lied his way through the primaries without being held accountable. That's over. And she said, whatever real Donald Trump says, we won't shut up. We won't back down. This election is too important, and he won't step foot in the White House. And so he threatened her, and his entire army of trolls on Twitter threatened her and her family. And but he said, goofy Elizabeth Warren is weak and ineffective, does nothing, all talk, no action, maybe her Native American name. And he said, goofy Elizabeth Warren and her phony Native American heritage are on a Twitter rant. She's too easy. I'm driving her nuts. To which she responded, no, Donald Trump, your racism, sexism, and xenophobia don't drive me nuts. It makes me sick, and I'm not alone. And that got retweeted 12,000 times, including by me.
There you go. So you mentioned the Hillary ads that she launched against Donald Trump. So this is from a CNET article by Chris Matazinski. Clinton immediately posted video ads after Trump's Indiana victory. One ad features Trump's boast that he's going to be a unifier, and it's followed by quotes from prominent Republicans saying just how much they can't stand the guy and what a disaster he would be. The second ad is a supercut of all of Trump's policy pronouncements, from deporting Hispanics to banning Muslims from the country to potentially using a nuclear bomb in Europe. And out of the gate, these ads are going to keep Democrats engaged. They're going to keep them motivated to vote. That's the purpose of them. Potentially, they'll push moderate Republicans in general, Republican women in particular, to either support Hillary Clinton or stay home. So right out of the gate, that's what's happening. We're going to see a lot more of this.
This is too important to stay home. You can't stay home. So in the good news area, using Twitter to tease the event, there's a concert coming that's called Oldcella, and it's going to be part of Coachella, according to the LA Times. Randy Lewis broke this story, and it could rank as the classic rock concert of the century. It includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Rolling Stones. I mean, it's got Bob Dylan, it's got everybody, and it's going to happen over a single weekend in October. It's got Paul McCartney. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. And of course, the tickets will sell out and nobody will be able to go. But
Yeah, well, the organizers certainly aren't calling it Oldcella, and they probably don't want it to be called Oldcella.
Yeah, but that's what
Um,
it is.
it is, and it probably would have been a lot better if it happened 2 decades ago, because it's an impressive lineup. But forgive me, I don't really care about watching Mick Jagger as an 81-year-old man jumping around like he's an 18-year-old.
Oh, Mick Jagger still got it. Come on.
No, no, that's just ridiculous. Just act your age a little bit, Mick.
Oh,
Just a
get
little
out of
bit.
town,
Yeah.
Dave. You
Yeah.
want to go? Give me your ticket to see Mick Jagger, okay? So
Okay. So,
Radiohead did something cool this week too. They erased their internet presence on Tuesday over the weekend, and then they put up a new single video. They put out snippets of it. The new one is called "Burn the Witch," and on Tuesday they posted their latest music video, which is wonderful. It had more than 5 million views in the first 24 hours. It's like a claymation style video, and it was to fuel speculation about their forthcoming album, the first since 2011. That's going to be called The King of Limbs. I suppose you don't like them either, right?
no, I'm fine with them. I just think I could have come up with a more creative PR angle than deleting their online presence to get attention.
I think that's fun. I think that what they did was fun.
I think it's counterproductive. We'll figure out some other way to get attention rather than deleting your presence online. Anyway, Anne Frank is coming to virtual reality. This is from a Hollywood Reporter article by Seth Abramovich, and the new film is called Anne. It's announced on Tuesday. Virtual reality film will allow viewers to be immersed in the presence of Anne Frank and other inhabitants of the Amsterdam annex that hid them from the Nazis during World War II. It allows viewers to move around a room and sense the presence in every way possible before VR, according to filmmakers who say they're going to recreate the attic with photorealistic visual fidelity. I think it's a fascinating story. It's the next evolution of VR storytelling. The world needs more empathy, and viewing a story from the point of view of Anne Frank can help in that regard. It's especially important the further we get removed from World War II. The GI generation that directly experienced World War II and the Holocaust is nearly gone. And the oral history that survives through family generations is only going to last so long. So that it's a great example of the evolution of storytelling, but also storytelling about history or conveying history to subsequent generations.
Well, making
Another
it something that is engaging enough so that it will go on, and that's really the thing that bringing that new technology into it is going to do.
Absolutely. Another story that could use the VR treatment, I think, is Roots, Alex Haley's novel and miniseries about American slavery.
Yeah, we grew up with that one, but
Right?
that's ancient history at this point.
Yeah.
So there's an adorable campaign that the YMCA has done, and it's called Zoe for President. And Zoe is a little baby; she can't even talk yet. She's not even a year old, and they have her crawling her way to the White House. And it says Zoe isn't president yet, but with the right help, she'll be running the country in no time. And so Conan O'Brien endorsed Zoe for president, and he said, please don't wait till 2064. We really need you to run this year. I know you're only 1 year old, but you're already way more mature than all the other candidates. And they have 30-second position videos of Zoe on the economy, and they have subtitles saying like the kind of education that they get when they come to the Y. She has a video on healthcare and one on education and one on childcare. They're absolutely adorable, but she is more mature than the other candidates, that's for sure.
There we go. It's a clever way of getting your message across, and you often see people hooking onto the presidential election season too. So
this is such a sweet way to do it.
right,
I mean,
right.
it's usually vitriolic, but this is a sweet way to do it. So as long as we're on the election, an article in New York Magazine this week by Dan Nosowitz said that Zuckerberg's already stated his anti-Trump sentiment, and he explains in this article that Facebook could influence the election. They're in a very unique position to cycle and influence the outcome of the contest. And Zuckerberg denounced Trump without using his name, and his employees are beginning to question, like, do they have a duty to stop Trump? What are they supposed to do? But they have this incredible reach and products that could be a really potent platform. And as political polarization increases, there are fewer persuadable voters. To a large extent, candidates and parties win based on their ability to get the supporters out to vote. So studies have shown that Facebook legitimately has the power to move people out to the polls. And one study said that during the 2010 midterm election, users presented with photographs of friends along with a message about voting were 0.39% more likely to actually go out and vote than those who just saw the message. Well, seemingly small things like who you're going to see in the photograph and what the caption is going to be and the social contagion effect of Facebook's friend network. If all those photographs were shown only to supporters of one party, if all the Democrats saw the photographs that were anti-Trump and were moved to go out and vote, that would move the election needle in a big way. And little stuff like what color the font is makes a difference, and whether the picture size is a certain way, and how long the post should be. And the only platform that really has the wherewithal and the algorithms and the engineers and the whole way of finding out what's going to work is Facebook. And,
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I think that's true to a degree. I think the other player in this is Google, and so the question is, what information you show to whom, and how does that motivate them to do X? They certainly, both companies have the algorithms and have the data to figure that out. But should they be screwing around with with our elections?
well, that's a question that, does need an answer. But then again, this is not a typical election. And Facebook still has much more of the mechanism for social sharing because Google blew it. They blew their social network opportunity with Google+. So what they have is not as dynamic as Facebook.
No,
And,
I don't agree with that. I think they have different data, but the same power. I think they've got search data, they've got data on all the other things that they control, which is a lot. But anyway, yeah, it's
this is not like any other election. What is and what isn't right, and what we should and shouldn't do. The rules are over at this moment. We need new rules.
I think that's what democracy is called. The rules are
Well,
over. That's not democracy.
We're not dealing with somebody who's a big lover of democracy when we deal with Trump,
Yeah, well, if we love democracy, let's stick with it. Anyway, Amazon Echo has a new feature, or they may soon have a new feature. This is from the Next Web, an article by Abhimanu Ghoshal. Sorry, bad pronunciation, I'm sure. But anyway, it's based on a Reuters report. Amazon is investing $250,000 to $500,000 in a company called TrackR. The company makes coin-sized, Bluetooth-enabled devices that let you find anything it's attached to. You say, take these little things and attach them to anything, and you'll be able to find them because they're Bluetooth-enabled, like your keys or your wallet.
You know where they are, right?
Yeah. It's following the location of the device on a companion app on your phone, the Amazon companion app, obviously. New partnership will let people find their lost items via Echo. So it will give Tracker service a voice response capability, and you'll need a tracker to begin with. They're currently selling at $29.99 a piece. But I think about, okay, so losing your car. Well, I forgot where I parked my car at a concert one time on a date, and it was the worst experience ever.
I've done that.
My date was not very happy about that at all. So being able to find my car like that would be a boon. The new capability should make Amazon's line of voice-activated devices more attractive to existing and potential customers alike. Echo recently gained some new features, including the ability to find out movie times by asking Alexa, find out live NFL scores, control your Nest thermostat, and even add events to Google Calendar. So the device is perfectly positioned to be the hub of the smartphone. But more significantly, I think this new investment gives Amazon location data about where you are and where you go. So now Amazon will be able to provide location-based
coupons and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I also read that Alexa now curses. Is this true, Dave?
I haven't asked her to swear at me yet.
Apparently,
maybe I will now.
She might swear at you. Yeah, she might swear at you without you asking. From what I read, I'll have to find the link to that one. So, is that bringing us to shiny objects?
One more one. The CIA was in the news this week for their Twitter activity. This is from a Washington Post article by Travis Andrews. 5 years ago, last Sunday, Navy SEALs killed Osama Bin Laden. And to mark the occasion, the CIA live tweeted, quote unquote, the raid. The takedown of bin Laden stands as one of the great intelligence successes of all time. History has been a key element of CIA's social media efforts, says spokesman Ryan Trapani. On the 5th anniversary, it's appropriate to remember the day and honor all those who had a hand in this achievement. So they started out to mark the 5th anniversary with a tweet that said, to mark the 5th anniversary of Osama bin Laden's operation in Abbottabad, we will tweet the raid as if it were happening today. And they use the hashtag UBLRaid. For most of the day, then the CIA tweeted events from that day with timestamps for when the significant events during that raid occurred. They depicted the events as if they were happening. Again, use the hashtag UBLRaid. The live tweeting concluded at 5:01 p.m. Eastern Time, which is when the raid ended. Not surprisingly, the agency was criticized for this effort, and others hijacked the hashtag. The CIA, of course, is going to be criticized with whatever they do because they're the CIA. But I think they do a really good job on their Twitter account.
Why would they wait 5 years?
Because I'm sure because the classified stuff or whatever, but I think it was a clever idea. I think it was a very clever idea.
It is a clever idea. It's just sort of weird.
Did it work at all? So what a 1 year anniversary, I guess. They could have done it, but they probably didn't think about it then.
Did it have images?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I missed that altogether. Did it trend on Twitter at all?
It did, and of course, as a result, it was hijacked. Probably helped the trending.
Right. I think it always does. So here we are at Shiny Objects. Give us one of yours.
So I have one, and this is a pretty cool one. It's Moz's Keyword Explorer. Moz just introduced a new tool for all of us SEO freaks. This is from a blog post on Moz by Rand Fishkin, and their new tool takes you all the way through the keyword research process. So from discovering keyword ideas to getting metrics to building your list of keywords to filtering your keywords that you've built to prioritizing the ones that you want to target based on the numbers that matter. It features metrics that are essential to the SEO process, including volume of search volume for a given keyword, difficulty of getting visibility for a given a keyword, opportunity. So the opportunity estimates the relative click-through rate of the organic web results in a search engine results page, and importance. So the importance is a metric that you can modify yourself to indicate a keyword that is more or less critical to your project. And then potential, and that's a combination of all the metrics built to help you prioritize your keyword list. So you can run 2 free searches a day on this tool without logging in. If you create a free community account, you get 5 free searches, and if you're a pro subscriber, as I am, you get unlimited searches. So really cool tool. I played around with it a lot. It has some valuable data that you won't find elsewhere, and I'll have to play some more with it and report back if I have anything else to report.
Explain to people who don't know what Moz does.
Moz is, well, they're a company that provides services for search engine optimization people. They run a fabulous, Rand Fishkin himself does it, Whiteboard Friday video on various aspects of search engine optimization, content optimization. So Moz.com is the website, and you'll find all their stuff there. They also... Yeah, they also create the follower wonk tool for getting analytics on your Twitter activity and finding influencers on Twitter.
Follower wonk is the coolest tool there is. So, yeah, I use it all the time. So, Amy Core at Media Post came up with DETOUR, which is a very interesting app, and it's hoping to reinvent audio walking tours. It's available right now in San Francisco, and it tries to bring you to a whole other level because it has local people tell you about hidden things that you would only know if you were a local. And there's currently 10 different 1-hour tours in San Francisco, and it's going to launch in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. And it uses a GPS guide to bring you through the areas of the city that even locals might not know about. And it lets tourists sync the audio with up to 3 phones, so friends can travel together or separately on the tour, and it includes restaurants, shops, and hidden gems. And, you know, before the internet, I did something for a then client, D'Agostino Supermarkets, and we asked people like their favorite outdoor lunch place that they didn't think other people might know about, and we printed like picnic maps, which disappeared in like a nanosecond. And they had some of the coolest places. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I didn't know half of the places that people were saying they, you know, brought their lunch to. And so things like that are really wonderful. And you're only going to find out about them from people who live there. So
Right.
the best app that I've ever seen in my life was the former Olympic figure skater Johnny Weir's tweet-powered Brooch at the Kentucky Derby. He was wearing this thing with a pink-tailed racehorse, and it lights up and it gallops when when people use the hashtag #WatchMeNay. And you couldn't even be angry at him, you know, for being that silly. I want one of those. I really want one of those. It was hilarious. So the little horse's little legs run when anybody uses the hashtag #WatchMeNay, and had this long pink tail.
That's weird.
That was funny. Weird. It was great. It was hilarious. I got the biggest kick out of that. So I believe that brings us to the daily numbers.
Yep, let's wrap this up. Again, happy Mother's Day, everyone. This is about mothers and their media consumption. This comes from Edison Research. So mothers, media that is most essential to their life, according to U.S. mothers, 2010 versus 2015. So in 2010, 3% of U.S. mothers said newspapers were the media that was most essential to their life. And in 2015, 3% of mothers said that newspapers were the most essential media in their life. In 2010, 15% said radio. In 2015, 7% said radio. In 2010, 32% said television. In 2015, 30% said television. In 2010, 48% said the internet. And in 2015, 59% said the internet. So mothers are hugely influential. They do a lot of the research in for families and stuff. So not surprisingly, you'll want to pay attention to that. And not surprisingly, they're using the internet much more to get information.
Wow, that's really great. I'm glad to hear that moms are online more than they used to be. That's good news. So that brings us to the end of episode 142 of the Beyond Social Media Show, and links to everything we talked about will be on our blog, the BeyondSocialMediaShow.com blog, and you can go there, BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/142. If you want to leave us a review and tell us that you hopefully loved us, you can do that at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/love. David Erickson is at D Erickson on Twitter. He blogs at estrategyblog.com and creativepr.com/blog, both of which are fabulous, highly recommended. I'm BL Achman. I tweet. I'm at What's Next on Twitter. And my blog is What's Next Blog, and I'm at maximum-plus.com for all things video, streaming video, video production. And I write for Ad Age. And if you want to find the show, we're at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com. We are on Google Play, our podcast, and we're on iTunes, and we're on Stitcher. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, you will not miss an episode because we post them all there. So that brings us to the end, and we thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with episode 143.
Thanks for watching.